Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas, when you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7900.
Minnesota. It's home. Hot summers at the lake, beautiful falls, snowy winters, and rainy springs. We experience it all. Make sure you're ready to handle whatever this state throws at you with help from Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Minnesota Equipment carries brands you love, like John Deere, Steel, Toro, Gravely zero-turn mowers, and Aaron's snowblowers. Their helpful staff can not only get you the equipment you need, but can help you maintain it so it will last. Plus, they carry a full line of farm equipment. Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Online at minnesotaequipment.com.
Mortgage rates haven't been this low since 2017. Chad Greenway talking Franzen Bank Mortgages. Now is a great time to buy or build your first home, your dream home, or that cabin you've always wanted. Or maybe refinance and lower your monthly payment. The local mortgage experts at Franzen Bank will find an option that best fits your situation. Buying, building, or refinancing. Find a Franzen Bank mortgage expert today at franzenbank.com/getThere. Tell them Greenway sent you. Franzen Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is a story we all share, of a place rooted in tradition and rich with opportunity, of people driven by compassion and vision. At Essentia Health, we're proud to play our role in this story, because we know that this place, these people, are like nowhere else. Visit Essentia Health in Hinckley, Sandstone, or our new location in Moose Lake for all your care needs. Schedule an appointment at essentiahealth.org today.
Welcome into WCMP's production of high school basketball. And now let's head to the court with Game Day Gilman.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast of boys basketball here on 95.5 FM KBEK and 106.5 FM WCMP. Welcome into tonight's matchup between two Section 6 AA opponents in the Mora Mustangs and the Pine City Dragons. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman, and I'll be bringing you all the action from tonight's important matchup between these two teams. And it's going to be a very good one here tonight, but as I mentioned, it's an important one for both teams because this is a section matchup, and right now with the playoffs right around the corner here within the next couple of weeks, we have got to pay attention to not only the section race, but class races and everything else that goes into it. And we'll start with Mora. Mora, the home team tonight, they're 18-3 overall, 7-2 in Section 6 AA, 9-1 in the conference. So 9-1 in the Granite Ridge Conference right now. They are sitting on top of the conference, but it's a three-way tie between Mora, Albany, and St. Cloud Cathedral. So those three teams are vying for that top spot in the conference right now. So nobody has locked it up just yet. Each of them has a share of the title, but I assure you those three teams want it themselves. And Mora will have a chance to claim it with their last two games of the season as they will play St. Cloud Cathedral and Albany. So what a better way to end the season than with two teams you're tied at the top of the conference with, a chance to not only beat those two teams and better your section standings, but also grab the conference title for yourselves. Looking at Mora coming into this game, as I mentioned, 3 losses, and this team doesn't score much more than 60 points a game. They're not a team who wants to go out here and score a bunch of points. They want to rely heavily on their defense. Two very different teams coming into tonight. Pine City, they want to run the floor. They want to go up and down the court quickly and score a lot of points. Mora, they don't necessarily want to do that. They rely on their defense, and for a good reason. Their defense is very, very good. Looking at their defense, as I mentioned, they score averaging under 60 points per game, but they allow about 45 points per game. So only scoring about 58 points per game, but allowing under 50 a game, and that is why they rely so heavily on that defense of theirs. And looking at their 3 losses, each of their losses this year is when they allowed the teams to score 60 or more points. So when you look at their losses, the teams that they have lost against, they have scored more than 60 points. Coming into tonight, looking at this game, in their wins for Mora, when they win, they don't allow the teams they play against to score more than 60 points. So in each of their 18 wins, they haven't allowed a team to score over 60 points. And their 3 losses, the teams have scored 60 or more. So that kind of gives you a formula if you're Pine City to work with. But again, Mora's defense, probably one of the toughest in this section. And I would go as far as to say the toughest in maybe this entire class. This Mora defense is just outstanding. And looking at their 3 losses, they lost early on to Rush City, who themselves are having a fantastic season. I believe they only have 3 losses on the season. Then we look over to their loss against Pequot Lakes, a team who they could face in the playoffs, but that would be in the state tournament. They won't face them in the section, as Pequot Lakes is in 7AA. And then their last loss was against St. Cloud Cathedral. So they're losing against a bunch, or only 2 teams in the section, and 1 out of the section, and they're very close games. It was a 4-point loss to St. Cloud Cathedral, and other than the loss to Rush City, which was a 12-point loss, it has been so close each and every time these 2 teams play each other. Or their losses. I got carried away. I went starting going into the rest of the pregame, but we'll look over to Pine City, who right now is 17-6 on the season, the highest scoring team in all of Section 6AA at 76 points per game. That's 2 points above the next closest, which are Spectrum and Rush City. And their defense, that's not bad either, only allowing 51 points per game. And looking at it real quick, that's about 4th or 5th in the section, so a very, very good defense for Pine City as well. So, yeah, 2 defenses coming in here who don't allow a ton of points, but you got 1 team who likes to score and 1 team who would rather rely on the defensive side of the ball. Pine City, as I mentioned, they're ranked about, I think, 10th right now in the section, but a win here tonight could catapult them up to that 7 or so spot. They won on Tuesday over Ogilvie, 78-48, finishing their conference schedule undefeated on the season. We have got a packed crowd here tonight in Mora. It is going to be a good one. These 2 rivals going at it here tonight. There's a lot on the line. Not just a win, but also pride, a rivalry win, and a section win, all on the line here tonight. We'll give you the starting lineups after we get our national anthem and a word from our fine sponsors. You're listening to the KBEK Game of the Week.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings, with expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas. When you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
3 words: Sriracha Cheese Curds. Introducing the latest A&W family restaurant side with a kick. Sriracha Cheese Curds have arrived at A&W. We've spiced up our 100% Wisconsin white cheddar cheese curds with just the right amount of Sriracha heat. You can enjoy Sriracha Cheese Curds with your favorite A&W combo or on their own. Make sure to cool off the heat with a frosty mug of original A&W root beer. Hurry in, Sriracha Cheese Curds are only available for a limited time at your local A&W family restaurant in Pine City.
Feeling a little cold this winter? Call D&E Heating and Air Conditioning in Hinckley. D&E Heating and Cooling is a local Amana dealer with quality workmanship and superior service. Now scheduling into 2022. D&E is ready to assist you, keeping all your heating and air quality appliances working like they should this winter. Their technicians are dependable, knowledgeable, and will provide a professional work ethic. That's their promise to you. Make them your go-to guys for all your heating and air quality systems. Look us up, deheatingcooling.com.
The holidays are over and we're all dreaming about spring. But at Aquarius Home Services, we know Old Man Winter isn't done with us yet. Remember last year? We had snow in April. That's why at Aquarius, we're offering $65 off any furnace repair. With your safety and comfort as our top priority, we'll treat your home and time with respect. We'll provide options that make sense with upfront, no-surprise pricing. We're just a click away at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended. If you've been injured in an auto accident or have sustained other personal injury, you don't have to leave town to get good representation. Spear & Swanson attorneys at law in Pine City are experienced and will work on your case with no fee until they get you money. They also handle divorce and custody cases, criminal defense, including DWI and other legal matters. Spear & Swanson is your local law firm that cares about you. So if you need legal representation or advice, call 320-629-7586. Spear & Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Visit Town & Country Insurance today at townandcountry-ins.com or stop in our offices in Finlayson, Hinckley, and Mora.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
95.5 FM and 106.5 FM. Simulcasting on WCMPradio.com and KBEK.com. Your starting lineups for tonight, starting with the visiting Pine City Dragons. It'll be number 1, Dylan Peterson. Number 12, Cole Waxberg. Number 14, Cameron Jusak. Number 20, Colton Blaisdell. And number 23, Luke Wilson. Dragons are head coached by Kyle Allen. On the other side, it'll be number 4, Dallas Fix. Number 12, Gage Brady. Number 15, Max Sampson. Number 23, James Oslin. And number 35, Garrett Hunshram. The Mustangs are head coached by Kurt Graychek. You are tuned into a good one here tonight. Whether you're listening on either of the radio stations, 95.5, 106.5, or online, watching it live streamed on WCMPradio.com or KBEK.com, you have tuned in to definitely the game of the week. And you know both these teams have had this game circled on this calendar since the schedule came out, and both of these teams coming into this game with outstanding records. Pine City has won their conference. Mora trying to get a chance to win their conference, or at least a share of it. They have it right now, but they still got 2 more games to play to where they could take it. This is going to be a very fun one here this evening. Mustangs, Pine City, and the last couple times these two teams have played, it's been Mora who's had the number of the Dragons, but tonight it looks like I've been trying to think to myself, who has the edge in this one? Who really has the advantage? And I don't think either team really does. I think Pine City's offense can be just as explosive, but the Mora defense is just so good. Gage Brady wins the tip. He gives it off now to Oslin. Oslin on the near side, and he will give it off now to Brady on the far side. Brady on the far side, guarded by Cole Waxberg. Brady trying to drive inside. Instead, he'll give it off to Sampson. Sampson on the near side. Gets a screen. Nearly loses the ball. Double teamed and now trying to get it away. He finds open Brady at the top of the key. He's going to put up a 3, and that's good. Gage Brady will open up the scoring with a 3. And the Mustangs are on the board first. Luke Wilson with it, trying to get around Brady. He gives it off to Blaisdell. Blaisdell wanted Waxberg. Instead, he'll give it to Wilson. Wilson on the far side gets a screen from Jusak. He wanted the 3. Instead, gives it off to Blaisdell on the near side. No good from 3. And going to get a foul early here on Pine City. And that'll be on Cole Waxberg. First foul on him. This is inbounded to Max Sampson. He'll take it up the court. Sampson on the far side, trying to get around Blaisdell. Blaisdell with a nice defense. Gives it off now to Oslin. Oslin on the near side, trying to drive inside on Peterson. Instead, he'll give it back out. Top of the key to Fix. Now on the other side to Sampson. Sampson gets a screen. He's double teamed, nearly loses the ball. And, going to get a foul there on, I believe, Wilson. Must have been just a little too physical on the defense there. And sometimes you can really get a feel of how the game's going to go with the fouls that are called early on. That ball inside to Garrett Honstrom. Really no chance for Jusak to do anything there. Because he stands, I believe, 6'8". So he's a tough one to guard. Peterson now with it. He's trying to drive inside. Out to Blaisdell at his feet. Otherwise, he would have had a chance at 3. Back to Peterson. He nearly loses the ball. Now to Blaisdell. Blaisdell fakes. He drives inside, gives it off to Wilson. Wilson, like I said, this Mora defense gives you no chance at any kind of shot. You have to find it. You have to go for it. You have to scratch and claw for it. Waxberg with it. He's their three-point specialist. And, Honstrom had it, but he couldn't control it. It goes out of bounds. Honstrom, one of the 4 seniors on this Mora squad. Wilson will lob it in to Peterson. Peterson at the top of the key. Now gives it to Waxberg. Waxberg inside to Blaisdell. Now out to Jusak. Jusak drives inside. Spin move out to Blaisdell. Thought about 3 and then nicely covered by Dallas Fix. Now out to Wilson. And this is something we don't normally see from Pine City. Longer possessions. Blaisdell for 3 on the near side. That's no good. Rebounded there by James Oslin. Up on the other side of the court is Brady. Nearly loses it. Gets it in to Oslin. Oslin on the far side on the Mustangs text over there. Now passes it to Fix. Fix on the near side trying to drive inside on Wilson. Puts up a shot off the glass in for 2. And an early 7-0 lead here for Mora. And then confusion as to who's going to inbound it. Blaisdell goes back to inbound it. Gives it up to Wilson. Not a good sign if you're Pine City. Not sure who's supposed to inbound. Gives it off to Waxberg now from Jusak. Gets it poked out from behind, but Blaisdell being a good teammate right there waiting. Wilson, again, one of the better ball handlers in the area. Gives it off to Peterson. Now Jusak. Jusak wants to go inside. Gives it off to Peterson. Peterson trying to drive in on the 6'8 Honstrom. Now to Jusak, top of the key. And he ends the drought for Pine City. A 3 for Jusak. That makes it 7-3. Cameron Jusak finally gets the Dragons on the board with a 3 of his own. And then the Mustangs lose it. And the Dragons will get it back. So the first turnover here by Mora. And now checking into the game for the Mustangs is Jonas Smart, a junior. And looks like Charlie Osmus, Lamont Sidney will check in. As is Jason Thiemann. So Thiemann, Lamont Sidney, and Charles Osmus check into the game. It's Wilson, Blaisdell, and Waxberg who check out. Peterson over to Osmus. Osmus looks, gives it off to Peterson. Peterson looks for a screen from Jusak, and now we get a foul. That'll be the first on Mora. That is going to be on Oslin, his first, team's first. Inbounded to Jusak right underneath the basket. Tries to go up, but it was blocked, and he was fouled. But he'll go to the line and shoot 2. And that again is on Oslin. So Oslin with 2 quick fouls. First one is up and good. It hung on the front of that rim for a moment. Wasn't sure if it was going to go in. Lamont Sidney in the game. He's missed the last couple of games with an ankle injury, but he's back in today. Jusak makes it a 2-point game now, 5-7. Smart with it, gives it off to Brady on the far side. Brady in the far side corner looking for Fix. And excuse me, that is not Fix, that is Jansen Sims. Sims back to Sampson, and gonna get Osmus on the foul there. It looked like Sampson got a little bit of a shoulder into him, but they're going to get Osmus for the foul. Charles Osmus gets the 3rd foul for Pine City. And that ball going to go behind and Gage Brady going to pick it up for the Mustangs. Gets it back on the offensive side of the court. Gets it off to Sampson now. Sampson to Smart. Smart back to Sims. Sims looking, goes all the way across court to Max Sampson, who drives inside, puts up a little floater, and that is well long. Last touch out of bounds by Jansen Sims. So it'll go back to the Dragons. 13:29 to go here in the first half. 7-5 this score, with the Mustangs leading in this Section 6AA matchup against the Dragons. Peterson over to Osmus. He's going to put up a shot. His rainbow shot is in. Charles Osmus makes it an 8-7 lead for Pine City. And if this is the way this game is going to go, we're in for a fun one. Sims inside to Smart, up and in for two, and the lead quickly back to the Mustangs. Could we see this game be a high-scoring one? Again, you know, Mora does not want to have a high-scoring game. They want to rely on defense. And if you're Pine City, the key right now, I think, for you, score over 60 points. Go out there and score over 60 points, run the court, run that up-tempo offense, and you've got a great chance of beating the Mustangs. Peterson drives to the net. A physical drive, puts it up and in for two. My goodness, already fireworks here in this game. Brady off to Sampson. Back to Brady. Brady on the near side. Back to Sampson, top of the key. Now over to the far side to Smart. Smart on the far side. Looking inside to Sampson, but he'll keep it. Gives it to Sampson on the corner. Now out to Brady. Brady gives it off to Sims. He's wide open. Thought about three, but Osmus is right there. Now gives it off to Smart. Smart fakes inside. He will drive inside. Puts up a little floater. Too hard, but... Oh, we get a... Oh, they're going to call that on Hanstrom. Oh, my. So Hanstrom got a little too physical down there, apparently, and they get him for the foul. Early on, it kind of feels like the refs are not going to allow too much physicality here in this game. And, you know, maybe that's a good thing with a rivalry like this. Sometimes when teams get a little too physical, it can lead to more, and you certainly don't want that. Step back three for Cole Waxberg. That is well off the mark and rebounded by Dominic Bolo. With it now is Brady. Brady up the court, gives it off to Smart. Over to Bolo. Bolo now to Brady, nearly stolen away by Thiemann, but that go out of bounds. Mora will hold on to it. Jonas Smart gets set to inbound. 10-9, the Dragons leave. 11:43 to lead, or to go in the first half. My goodness. Brady over to Bolo. Bolo on the far side gets it to the top of the court key to Fix. Fix now to Smart. Smart trying to drive. Jusak there with nice defense. Bolo trying to get around Waxberg. Nice move, but passes it off to Fix on the far side. Fix drives inside. Little floater off the front of the rim. No good. Gets his own rebound. No good again, but he was fouled, and he'll go to the line and shoot two. 11:25 to go. And that is on Riley Cummings. So fourth team foul for Pine City as Dallas Fix is at the line to shoot two. Shot is up and good from Dallas Fix to tie it at 10. Fix is good on both, and that will give the Mustangs an 11-10 lead. We get a whistle for a substitution. Max Sampson in for Gage Brady on the Mustang side. 11-10, Mustangs lead. Luke Wilson gets the inbound, and he's got it up the court. Looking, trying to give it to Waxberg. Waxberg gives it to Thiemann, out to Jusak for three. Excuse me, that is Wilson for three, and it's in. Luke Wilson makes it a 13-11 game. Trying to go, I don't know if he meant to do that, but trying to go inside. It went off the top of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Waxberg for the Dragons. Now over to Thiemann on the far side, inside to Jusak. Jusak wants to drive, looking for the spin move, turns around, puts it up, in for two. And he is so hard to guard when he finds that spin move. Cameron Jusak is probably one of the better basketball players in the area to get that spin move little layup. I mean, it is beautiful. You can tell he has really worked on that and perfecting it because it's silky smooth. Far side for Dallas Fix. Fix on the boundary. Nearly had it stolen away. Gets it to Smart. Smart wanting to drive inside. Puts up a little floater off the front of the rim. Rebound up for grabs. And racing after it and getting it back for the Mustangs was Maddox Balmer. And this is stolen away by Wilson of the Dragons. Wilson gets a steal. And for three from Thiemann from deep. Jason Thiemann from long range for three. Makes it 18-11 with 9:45 to go. Dallas Fix steps inside. Now gets it out to Smart. Smart wide open for three. Oh, in and out. Unkind rim, but Sims, that's Balmer getting the rebound, puts it up and in for two. 18-13, 9:30 to go. Luke Wilson in the corner to Riley Cummings. Cummings gets it out to Waxberg, now to Wilson. Wilson circles the perimeter, goes to the far side, gets it off to Thiemann for three. No good, and it doesn't even touch anything. Jusak tried to get it with one hand, but it wound up going out of bounds. Mora will take over, get a couple substitutions. Hanstrom will check back in. It'll be Blaisdell, Isaiah Haas, and Lamont Sidney who will check in. Mustangs also want to get a substitution. James Oslin going to come in for Jonah Smart. 18-13, the Dragon lead, 9:16 to go. Oslin will get set to inbound for Mora. He gets it to Sampson. Sampson. Blaisdell giving him plenty of respect there. Gave him a lot of room to work with. Now up the court. Gives it off here to Oslin. Oslin on the near side. Working on Haas. Haas, a very physical player. That is up and no good. Oslin winds up coming down with the rebound. And Oslin still with it. Gives it off to Sampson on the far side. He's guarded by Blaisdell. Tries to go inside to Hanstrom. And it is so hard to get around Hanstrom. And Hanstrom, he gets it, puts it up and in for two. Plus the and one. When you're that tall and that strong like Hanstrom is, it is so difficult to cover. Give credit to Isaiah. I don't know, they didn't call Isaiah Haas for the foul. It was Lamont Sidney. Give credit to Lamont Sidney, though, for trying. And Lamont Sidney, actually, it's Jason Thiemann who gets the rebound. 18-15 will the score remain. Luke Wilson with it. Under 9 to go in the first half. Wilson guarded by Sampson. Wilson getting out of a little bit of a trap there. Gives it off to Thiemann on the far side. Now back to Wilson. Wilson dribbles, top of the key, puts up a three, off the mark, and rebounded by Max Sampson. Sampson quickly up the court, trying to get past Wilson. He's looking to pass to someone. He'll give it off to Oslin on the far side. Now to Sampson. Sampson thought about three, but Wilson's right there guarding. Now trying to drive inside. Stops. Looking to pass to someone, to Hanstrom. And, yeah, really no choice there. You don't want to let Hanstrom get the ball down deep, and unfortunately Pine City did. And that's Isaiah Haas who's going to get the foul. Now Pine City with their sixth. They do not want to give them that bonus. 8:06 to go. But again, Hanstrom, you don't want to let him get underneath and get the ball. I understand he's 6'8", and that's difficult to cover, but got to find a way to make sure he doesn't get down there. Sampson with the shot. No good. Rebounded by Lamont Sidney. Wilson gets it on a handoff from Blaisdell. Blaisdell on the near side. Looks for a screen from Sidney. Blaisdell to Wilson on the far side for three. That's good. Luke Wilson on the assist from Colton Blaisdell makes it 21-15. Up on the near side, far side rather, is Oslin. Oslin gives it back to Sampson. Now to Fix, over to Brady, to Sampson. Sampson drives inside, puts up a little floater off the front of the rim. Coming down with it is Dallas Fix, and there's the seventh foul. Exactly what you didn't want to do if you're Pine City. So Pine City going to put the Mustangs in the bonus, and it's going to be Isaiah Haas with his second. Now we have seen the Pine City Dragons go plus 10 in the fouls in one half, and then the next half they come back and barely, touch a player. Not that they're not trying, but they just do a really good job of avoiding the fouls, and Fix there makes the first. Fix short on the second, and Isaiah Haas going to get the rebound. So Dallas Fix makes 1 of 2 there. And the Dragons have it. Luke Wilson trying to get around Sampson. Gives it off to Blaisdell on the far side. Now to Thiemann. Thiemann back to Wilson. Far side trying to drive inside. He's going to be double teamed. Gets out of there. Pass it to Lamont Sidney. Sidney wants to give it off. He does to Wilson. Looking for a screen from Sidney is Wilson. Now he'll dribble. Wanted Thiemann for 3 from Blaisdell. That's long and rebounded by Oslin. He'll give it off to Sampson, who takes it up the court on the near side. Sampson looking to pass. He'll give it off now to Dallas Fix, all the way across court to Oslin. Oslin given some space there by Haas. He picks up his dribble, and he wants to hand it off to Brady. He does, and Brady has it knocked out of his hands by Pine City, so the Mustangs will hold on to it. 21-16 is the score, 6:32 to go. 17 fouls for Pine City, 3 for Mora. Dallas Fix will check out. In for him is Jonah Smart. Sampson will inbound to Oslin. Oslin right back to Sampson as he gets inbound. Sampson trying to drive from Blaisdell. Now passes to Brady. Brady trying to get around Thiemann. Nice move by Brady. A little floater up and in for 2 from Gage Brady. 21-18 now the score. And looks like we get an illegal screen. It's going to go on Lamont Sidney. So the Mustangs will get it back, 21-18. Gage Brady starts with it. Brady, only a freshman for these Mustangs, and he's going to be a key piece of this team moving forward. Now with it is Sims. Sims off to Smart. Smart wants to drive inside, puts up the shot. No good! The rim unkind, but Hanstrom right there for the rebound. He missed it, but he gets his own rebound once again. Now out to Brady for 3. That's no good. Does Brady get his own rebound? He does. Brady now to Sampson. Sampson trying to drive inside. Mason Charles out there for the Dragons. Sims now to Sampson on the far side. Trying to get it to Smart. He will in the corner. Smart going to drive. Passes it out to Sims. Sims getting out of a double team. Has it stolen away by Jason Thiemann. Jason Thiemann up the court. Puts up the shot. It's in! Will the shot count? Let's wait. Yes, the basket is good. And that'll be the 4th team foul for Mora, the first on Gage Brady. And Jason Thiemann has a chance at the 3-point play. Bolo going to check in for Sims. And also checking in is Ballmer. Comes in for Hanstrom. 23-18 off the made 3 from Jason Thiemann off the steal. Poked out, and then Jason Thiemann took it up the court. Also got fouled, but the shot was good. And the shot is no good, so only gets 2 there. But it off the rebound, a fight for it. Oh, and Mason Charles, he's got to be careful. I don't know if he meant to, but he was going through and kind of flexing, and he looked like it was going towards the Mustangs. He's got to be careful. That could be called a personal and could be a technical. For 3 goes Waxberg. It's no good. Rebounded by the Mustangs. And now another foul here on the Dragons. 23-18 they lead with 5:02 to go. It's going to be their 9th, and that one will be on Cole Waxberg, his 2nd. And it'll send Sampson to the line for a 1-and-1. Max Sampson at the line for the 1-and-1 opportunity with 5:02 to go. Dragons lead 23-18. And this shot is no good. Mason Charles and Peterson both go after it, but Charles is going to come down with it. Peterson realizing, he just says, here, you need to take it. I will let go of it. Wilson driving on the near side. Trying to get around defenders. Spins. Somehow keeps a hold of the ball and now tries to get it to Peterson. And Peterson cannot hang on to it. And it goes out of bounds, and Mora will take over. The game of the week here on KBEK and WCMP. Dragons with the lead 23-18, under 5 to go. Brady gets the inbound pass and will try and get up the court for the Mustangs. Jason Thiemann on defense covering Brady. Thiemann poked it out again, and now we basically get a dog pile. And I cannot see the possession or who it's facing at this moment. I'll find out in just a second. Pointing Pine City's way. Jason Thiemann, another poke. Got that ball loose, and then Peterson was able to fall on it. It went between his legs, and then Brady came in and almost basically tackled Peterson, trying to go after it. And I'm not saying that was with any malicious intent. I'm just saying this is, it's so intense out there. You can tell the energy from both these teams is just awesome. It is off the charts, and it is so fun to watch. Wilson now to Mason Charles. Charles wants to drive, gives it off to Wilson on the far side. Gets a screen from Jusak. Now out to Jusak on the far side for three. That's in! Jusak for three on the assist from Wilson. Makes it 26-18. On the offense for Brady. Three, good. Gage Brady says, I see your three, and I'll answer it with one of my own. Gage Brady answers with a three. 26-21, 3:50 to go. Wilson out to Thiemann on the far side. Now to Wilson. Gets a screen from Jusak. Sampson noticed it that time. Now to Charles for three. A little bit too hard on that one, and Garrett Honstrom is going to come down with the rebound. Brady trying to work on Thiemann. Brady passes it to Sampson. Sampson points where he wants Brady to go, and Sampson's going to go deeper into that far side corner. Stops, gives it off now to Jonas Smart for three. That's off the mark, and fighting for the rebound, Dallas Fix winds up coming down with it, and no good on his shot. And it's Luke Wilson who will get the rebound. And fans not happy as Kyle Allen gave a word to Luke Wilson as he was going up the court, and I don't know if you can do that. I don't know the rule book, but we get a foul on Pine City, and both fans clashing that it shouldn't have been or it should have been. Looking at it, I don't know if it was or not. It looked like the defender was there in time, but again, they're not really allowing these teams to be physical. Well, at least they're consistent with their calling of these fouls. And the basket is good, by the way, from Brady. Gage Brady leading this team right now with 10 points. Shot is up and good. It makes it a three-point play, and it's 24-26. And now the Mustangs going to provide a little bit of full court pressure, but Sampson a little bit too much, and he's going to get called for the foul. That's only his first, so he's got plenty to give. Oh, and Allen wanted to get a sub, but he'll have to wait. Up the court goes Dylan Peterson. Peterson to Wilson. Wilson at the top of the key. Now drifts to the near side, trying to get a screen from Jusak, but nice job by Sampson there. Go back on defense. Now off to Wilson on the far side from Blaisdell. Wilson to Jusak, and that's just out of his reach. And we get a whistle. It'll just be a substitution. Haas will check in for Wilson. And Isaiah Haas, again, he is one of the more physical guys out on the court when he's out there. He does not give you an inch at all. Sampson up on the far side over to Jonas Smart. Jonas Smart, he wants to drive inside. He stops, gives it to Fix, who drives up and in for two. Dallas Fix will tie it up at 26 now. On the other side, it's Isaiah Haas. Isaiah Haas gets it to Blaisdell. Blaisdell gets it, dropped it, but now he'll work with it, and it's stolen away by Jonas Smart. That is one thing the Dragons do not need, is to give the Mustangs any help. They don't need the turnovers. Sampson trying to get around Thiemann. He'll pass it back to Smart. Smart on the far side. He thought about giving it back to Sampson in the corner, but he'll work it to the top of the key. He'll hand it to Gage Brady. Brady Standing top of the key, he'll give it off to Smart on the near side. 1.5 minutes to go, tied at 26. Smart trying to drive towards the top of the key, gives it off to Brady. Brady gets Blaisdell past him, now Fix, and he goes for the reverse layup. It's in for two. 28-26 in favor of the Mustangs. Mustangs can't hold them down forever, even though they don't score a ton. And it goes off the back side of the backboard on the tip. That should be out of bounds, and it should be Pine City ball. It is. Mora fans not happy, but to explain to any Mora fans listening, the Honstrom got the tip, and the ball hit the backside of the backboard, not the front, the backside, and the backside is considered out of bounds, so that is why it is Pine City ball. That will be Mora ball. Peterson tried to dribble it inside, and then he basically fumbled it out of bounds. 28-26, Mora leads with 1:05 to go. If you're Pine City, you want to stop the bleeding, so to speak. You want to get Mora on one possession before you get to halftime without scoring, and you want to get back and tie this thing up. Also, you don't want to give them any turnovers here for this last minute. That's a huge thing. For Mora, well, just keep scoring. You keep scoring. You keep pulling this lead further and further away from Pine City. Well, that gives you all the momentum in the second half. Jonas Smart gets it on the near side. Smart wanted Brady. He's guarded. Now gives it back to Sampson. Sampson trying to get around Blaisdell. Blaisdell giving Sampson plenty of respect. Blaisdell following Sampson, who drives inside. Now out to Jonas Smart. Jonas Smart at the top of the key. He passes it to Sampson. Sampson, they're just going to waste the rest of this clock. Again, that's what Mora likes to do. They like to run the clock down. Don't like to score a whole bunch, but they like to run the clock down as much as they can and force you into fouls or mistakes. And basically, they lull you to sleep. They lull you to sleep with their offense is what they like to do. Sampson off to Jonas Smart. Jonas Smart back to Brady. And Pine City not going to get the ball back here before the second half. Sampson for three. That looks good. It's off the mark. And Jason Thiemann will get the rebound before the end of the half. And that'll be halftime. What a half of play it was here in Mora between these two rivals. Mora will go to half with the lead, 28-26 over Pine City. We'll take a commercial break here. Word from some of our fine sponsors. When we come back, I'll recap this wild first half. Let you know my keys to the game for the second half for both these teams. And then we should be set for second half action. You're listening to the WCMP and KBEK Basketball Game of the Week.
With high school sports season here again, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
When something is important to you, you'll do anything to make sure it's protected. You want someone you know, someone you trust to help you take care of it. That's why you need to work with Pine Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. With over 50 years combined experience, let the experts at Pine Insurance Agency help you protect what's important, whether it's your home, car, farm, insurance, or loved ones. Call them today to set up a free, no-obligation quote. Your local Auto Owners Insurance Agency is Pine Insurance Agency, located in a Northridge Center in Pine City.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas. When you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
Minnesota. It's home. Hot summers at the lake, beautiful falls, snowy winters, and rainy springs. We experience it all. Make sure you're ready to handle whatever this state throws at you with help from Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Minnesota Equipment carries brands you love, like John Deere, Steel, Toro, Gravely zero-turn mowers, and Aaron snowblowers. Their helpful staff can not only get you the equipment you need, but can help you maintain it so it will last. Plus, they carry a full line of farm equipment. Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Online at minnesotaequipment.com.
Mortgage rates haven't been this low since 2017. Chad Greenway talking Franzen Bank Mortgages. Now is a great time to buy or build your first home. your dream home, or that cabin you've always wanted. Or maybe refinance and lower your monthly payment. The local mortgage experts at Franzen Bank will find an option that best fits your situation: buying, building, or refinancing. Find a Franzen Bank mortgage expert today at franzenbank.com/get there. Tell them Greenway sent you. Franzen Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is a story we all share, of a place rooted in tradition and rich with opportunity, of people driven by compassion and vision. At Essentia Health, we're proud to play our role in this story because we know that this place, these people, are like nowhere else. Visit Essentia Health in Hinckley, Sandstone, or our new location in Moose Lake for all your care needs. Schedule an appointment at essentiahealth.org today.
3 words: Sriracha Cheese Curds. Introducing the latest A&W family restaurant side with a kick. Sriracha Cheese Curds have arrived at A&W. We've spiced up our 100% Wisconsin white cheddar cheese curds with just the right amount of Sriracha heat. You can enjoy Sriracha Cheese Curds with your favorite A&W combo or on their own. Make sure to cool off the heat with a frosty mug of original A&W root beer. Hurry in, Sriracha Cheese Curds are only available for a limited time at your local A&W family restaurant in Pine City.
Feeling a little cold this winter? Call D&E Heating and Air Conditioning in Hinckley. D&E Heating and Cooling is a local Amana dealer with quality workmanship and superior service. Now scheduling into 2022. D&E is ready to assist you, keeping all your heating and air quality appliances working like they should this winter. Their technicians are dependable, knowledgeable, and will provide a professional work ethic. That's their promise to you. Make them your go-to guys for all your heating and air quality systems. Look us up, deheatingcooling.com.
The holidays are over, and we're all dreaming about spring. But at Aquarius Home Services, we know Old Man Winter isn't done with us yet. Remember last year? We had snow in April. That's why at Aquarius, we're offering $65 off any furnace repair. With your safety and comfort as our top priority, we'll treat your home and time with respect. We'll provide options that make sense with upfront, no-surprise pricing. We're just a click away at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you're listening on 95.5 FM, 106.5 FM, AM 1350, KBK.com, or WCMPradio.com, man, oh man, we are in for quite a game here this evening. It has been fun so far, and I expect the second half to provide even more fireworks than the first half did. And the first half was crazy. It was so fun. It was so exciting. And my goodness, we are in for quite the game here in the second half, providing one team doesn't just all of a sudden pull out to like a 30-point lead, which I don't see happening. These two defenses have come to play tonight, as have these offenses. And before we keep going, I just want to mention again, Mora, a team, they don't like to score that much, because they rely on their defense that is so very good. Their defense is just incredible. Again, they don't allow more than 45 points a game, and in the losses, they've allowed 60 points. So a key for Pine City, just point blank, score more than 60. But for Mora, just continue to rely on that defense. That defense has been solid in the first half. Looking at the stats here in the first half, leading the way was Cameron Jusak. Then it was Luca Wilson Cameron Jusak with 10. I should probably tell you the score of what they got. Cameron Jusak with 10. Luke Wilson with 6, Jason Thiemann with 5, 3 for Charles Osmus, and 2 for Dylan Peterson. They had 10 fouls there in the first half, 2 from Cole Waxberg, Luke Wilson, Charles Osmus, Lamont Sidney, and 1 for Riley Cummings and Charles Osmus. On the other side, for the Mora Mustangs, leading the way for them is Gage Brady with 11 points, 9 for Dallas Fix, 4 for Garrett Honstrom, and 2 for Jonas Smart and Maddox Balmer. They only had 5 first-half fouls, and, of course, no surprise here that Garrett Honstrom is leading the way for them in rebounds. And just talking about keys to the game here really quick before we get into the recap, because it seems like I can never get the keys to the game in before the second half starts. But for keys to the game, I think we'll start with the visiting Pine City Dragons, and for them, I think really just got to continue to play your offense. Continue to pull the trigger from outside of the perimeter. You've got the shooters to do it, and once you make one, that you start to get on a roll. You start to get in a rhythm. You start to get really hot, and your team just cannot miss. Just plain and simple. When you make one, you start to, because then it seems like when Pine City makes one, Well, then they make another one, and then they go down and make another one. So if you're Pine City, just go down, shoot that ball from the 3, just get them to fall, because as soon as you start to get them to fall, there's no stopping your offense. And the defense feeds off of that, because then they feel the momentum, and they realize, hey, all we need to do is get the ball back for our offense. Then we can just go down and put the ball towards the net, and we've got 3. But, of course, you don't want to not take the shots that are provided to you that are open from the inside. So I would still try to keep working Cameron Jusak inside. And a big key, I think, here for Pine City is to take Garrett Honstrom out of the game. Do not, and that is not in any malicious intent, but you just want to make sure that he doesn't make any more impact on the game than he already has. We've seen it a couple times. Mora has just basically lobbed it to Garrett Honstrom in the paint, and they just told him, go up and get it. And he has. He's gone up and got it. He's brought it down and just put it back up through the net for 2. So if you're Pine City, you want to make sure that Honstrom does not have any more of an impact on this game than he already has. And one way to do that is to force him into fouls. Now, he only had 1 there in the first half, so I don't see him fouling out here in this game. He's a very smart, intelligent player. He's very strong as well, but you want to make sure that he doesn't have any more of an impact on this game than he already has. I mean, he leads the Mustangs in rebounds right now, only has 4 points, but if you allow him to get inside and let him feel comfortable inside, let him feel like he can move around you and push you around, be more physical, well, he's going to get hot off of that, and he's going to start to just feed off of that and continue to get better and better as the night goes along. But so for the Dragons, you just got to make sure Honstrom doesn't have any more impact on the game, and just continue to run your offense. And the defense, there's not much more you can say. Both defenses have been terrific. For Mora, I think you're going to want to start to match the Dragon intensity. I understand you want to take time off the clock. You want to drain that clock. And I think that is. We didn't see them with a ton of long offensive possessions, so I think you want to do that here in the second half if you're Mora. Start taking longer offensive possessions. But also if you're Mora, I think you want to start kicking up the tempo just a little bit. Try and match Pine City a little bit. Try and get them, give them a taste of their own medicine, so to speak, so that they, get out of sorts a little bit, and then you take momentum, and it's taking momentum. You're not allowing it to come to you. You're taking it, and that can be a huge game changer on the game. But on defense, again, I really wouldn't change anything for either team. They're both playing really well. I think just the Mora Mustangs, you don't want to let the Dragons score any more 3-pointers. And then for Pine City, you got to make sure Garrett Honstrom doesn't have any more of an impact on the game if you're the Dragons. Just about set to start this second half here. And the Mustangs will start with it. It's Max Sampson who gets it. Sampson did not have any points there in that first half, but that does not mean he was not an impact player, because he certainly helped with some of the moves. And, a quick steal from Luke Wilson. He's going to take it up the court. Reverse layup. It's in for 2! And a quick steal and tie as Luke Wilson gets his second steal of the game from Oslin, and then he takes it down, scores, gets the basket to fall, and now James Oslin with his 3rd foul, so he's going to start to have to be careful. My goodness. If you're Pine City, you really couldn't ask for this second half to start any better way. A potential 3-point play here for Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson takes a deep breath. He realizes how big that one was, and he converts. 29-28, and Luke Wilson gives the Dragons the 29-28 lead in the second half, about 20 seconds in. Sampson on the far side gives it to Jonah Smart. Smart gives it back to Sampson. Sampson trying to get around Blaisdell. Blaisdell's been giving respect to Sampson's ability to move and his speed. And now he gives it off to Smart. Smart gives it to Fix. Fix trying to get around Wilson. He gets inside of him, puts up a little floater, and the Mustangs love to do that, but Dallas Fix gets his own rebound, puts it up, and in for 2. That's one thing that you'll see a lot from Mora as well, is they like to get that little, floater, just jump and just kind of float it towards the basket. They do a really good job with it, but a lot of times it doesn't fall, and I think if you're Pine City, maybe force them into that more. Wilson with it. He'll hand it off to Blaisdell. They're going to go back and forth, side to side. Peterson now with it. He wanted Jusak, and he'll look to Wilson. He's going to have to give it off to someone. He does to Waxberg. A long 3, just too much on it, and right into the hands of Gage Brady. 30-29, under 17 to go. Oh my goodness, left wide open Dallas Fix, and no good on the 3. It's Jusak with the rebound. And now up the court goes Luke Wilson. Wilson Dribbles into a double team, gets away from it. Now out to Blaisdell for three. That's short. Jusak right there, though, to help his teammate, and he'll put it up and in for two to make it 31-30. Back and forth we go to start this second half. That's any indication of how this second half will go. Man, oh man, fireworks. Physical in that near side corner as Sampson gets it out to Fix for two, an easy two on the assist from Sampson. 32-31. Wilson trying to use those ball handling skills to get through the defense. It rolls on the ground and taken away. Looks like Hanstrom. Looks like Hanstrom's going to take it away. And we looks like, get our first time out of the game. No timeouts there in the first half by either side. And this is our first. Mora will call it because Garrett Hanstrom, they wanted to make sure he held on to that one and didn't give a chance for a jump ball. And looking at the possession arrow, it is favoring Pine City. So a smart timeout call there by Mora head coach Kurt Graycheck. So the Mustangs will hold on to it. Of course, stay tuned after the game for Nichols Cafe Player of the Game. We will award one player with a free bacon cheeseburger meal for being the player of the game, thanks to Nichols Cafe. Inbounded here to Sampson. Sampson takes it up the court. And now he'll give it to Brady. Brady led the team in the first half with 11 points. Sampson gives it out to Smart now. Smart drives inside, tried to get it to Hanstrom. And Waxberg fell to the court a little bit awkwardly there. Looked like he may have tripped over someone. But he's okay, he's back up. Mustangs will hold on to it, though, as Waxberg was the last to touch it. Smart looking, he'll get it out to Sampson. Sampson left wide alone, past three. He gets to the free throw line, puts up the shot. It's no good. Smart races after it, gets it back now to Sampson again. Sampson drives inside, fakes the shot one way, goes the other way, and oh my goodness, the shot was no good, but rebounded by Hanstrom. Hanstrom gets it out to Smart. Smart now drives inside, finds a lane, up and in for two. And the basket's going to count. And let's see who the foul is called on. I believe it's Peterson, it is. Pine City fans, some of them shaking their heads there. I don't know. I tend to go with the defender on that play. Jonas Smart does not make two. He make it a three-point play, just two. Tend to go with the defender on that play because it always, to me, seems like the defender is there in time. Now Garrett Hanstrom going to get the steal, well, the block rather, on Dylan Peterson's shot. And then we get a foul on Peterson. 34-31. Bolo's going to check into the game for Mora, as will Oslin. It's Fix and Smart who check out. Bolo will inbound. He'll get it into Sampson. 3-point lead here for the Mustangs. 15 minutes to go here in the second half. Charles Osmus also in the game for Pine City. And up and in for two from Sampson. His first points of the game. That makes it 36-31. Now if you're Pine City, you really don't want to allow them to go on too big of a scoring run. Lamont Sidney driving to the basket. No good, but he was fouled. And he'll go to the line to shoot two. And Garrett Hanstrom going to get called for that foul. Lamont Sidney getting ready for his two shots. Too much on that first one from Sidney. Sidney's got a brace on that left ankle. Sprained it in the Bram game, but he does make one of two. So Lamont Sidney gets it to a 4-point game, 36-32, 14 and a half minutes to go. Brady up the court, gets past Thiemann, stops on a dime, trying to get past Thiemann once again. Now gives it off to Sampson. Sampson trying to get past Osmus. A little bit physical, tries to go inside for Hanstrom, but oh my goodness, I don't know how, but Sampson got that one back, and then the kind roll into the basket for two. It's 38-32. He tried to go inside for Hanstrom. He lost it. It should have been Pine City ball, but just give credit to Sampson just hustling out there to get that ball back. Avoided the steal. Thiemann gets it. Now to Peterson. Peterson trying to get around Bolo. Peterson dribbles into the near side corner. He'll pass it to Jusak. Jusak to Peterson. Peterson wants to drive inside. He wanted Thiemann and now wants Jusak. Jusak will step back past the perimeter. Gives it off to Peterson. Peterson, he'll drive inside. Goes inside to Sidney, who has it blocked from behind by Oslin. And you got to be careful. Honstrom up and in for two. Ooh, that was close to a travel. He slipped down there. I don't think it was enough for travel, but it was darn close. Lamont Sidney had it blocked, and now he'll go for three. And then Lamont Sidney says, all right, you blocked my shot that time, but I got to make you pay for it. Hits him with a three, Lamont Sidney. And that ball going to go out of bounds. That's touched by the Dragons. Wilson, Waxberg, and Cummings will check in for Peterson, Osmus, and Sidney. Looks like we'll get four in for Mora. Smart, Fix, Sims, and Balmer will check in for Mora. 13-13 to go, 40-35. The Mustangs lead. And both these teams have done a really good job of getting substitutions in and out. And, oh my God, I don't know how Sampson did that, but he did. I mean, he was floating in the air for about 3 seconds and then just threw it towards the back, saying he got it to fall. I mean, hey, if it works. 42-35. Dragons with it now. It's Waxberg who gives it to Wilson. Wilson pauses a moment, gets a screen from Jusak. He'll step back three. It's off the front of the rim. And Jusak fighting for the rebound. Oh, did we get a foul? Did we do? We get a foul on Mora. And that will go against Balmer, his first, team's third. It was not a shooting, or it was or wasn't a shooting foul? They're going to say it was a shooting foul. Jusak no good on the first. Off the front of the rim. Jusak will reset, and we'll get ready for the second. 42-35, 12:49 to go. And again, Jusak no good on the second. My goodness. Not what you want to see for Pine City. And quickly down the court, Jonah Smart in for two. And soon we're going to have to get a timeout here from Pine City as the Mustangs have pulled out to a 9-point lead, 44-35. Pine City right now just has gone real cold shooting. And plus they've had a couple turnovers that you cannot have when you're playing against the Mustangs. Wilson with it, now off to Thiemann on the far side, gives it off to Wilson. Wilson on the far side. Trying to get a screen from Jusak. He works it inside, and that one is swatted, but being a good teammate is Riley Cummings. Waxberg trying to get himself going, not a chance. Jusak will get the rebound, though. Jusak trying to work inside. Shot is up, no good. And we get a foul on Mora. So Mora fans are upset at that foul, but with the way the refs have been calling that tonight, they have been calling it more on the defender. So they're being consistent in the way they call it. And whether the defender was there or he wasn't, it was close. Again, usually I give the benefit to the defender, and that time the refs again do not agree with me. But in my explanation, the way they have been calling it tonight, they have been calling it on the defender and less on the offense for a charge. 36-44, Pine City trails. Jusak trying to make both. He does. Makes it 44-37 and a 7-point lead now for the Mustangs. It looks like we get a buzzer for substitution. Jonas Smart has it, and he's trying to work it up the court. Now out to Brady. Brady on the near side. Brady, a freshman, out to Oslin. Now to Smart. Smart gets past Wilson. A little floater. It's in from Oslin. Or excuse me, that's Smart. 46-37. Dragons to Waxberg. Looking to get going, and Waxberg finally gets something on the board. I'm sure he's saying about time. He makes the three, 46-40. Under 11 and a half to go. Jonas Smart pauses, gives it off to Brady. Brady top of the key, now working near side. Gives it off to Oslin. Oslin trying to drive, getting around one defender, off to Brady. A short two, in. Gage Brady. His first points of the second half make it 48-40. Pine City's going to have to try and do something to get Mora off their rhythm and get them a possession without scoring. That shot up and no good from Luke Wilson. A prime opportunity to get some points, but just a little bit off on the layup. Brady now looking to get the Mustangs up by 10. It's Honstrom, and with Honstrom being so tall, you can't really do anything without fouling him and you don't want to get your team into foul trouble, so really no chance there. Honstrom gets it in for two, and it's a 10-point lead here for Mora. Oh, and that goes off of Jusak. Jusak frustrated, yelling at the defender. Got to be careful. The refs are not going to allow you to do much. I understand it's a rivalry game, but you got to keep your head about you. And Jonas Smart almost lost it. Waxburg trying to get it back. Now pass out to Brady. Brady top of the key. Just takes the three. No good off the front of the rim. Luke Wilson going to come down with the rebound. Quickly up the court to Jason Thiemann. And that is in. Honstrom nearly got the block at the last moment. But Jason Thiemann gets it to fall 50-42. Might we see the Mustangs allow more than 60 here in this game and still win? That we'll have to wait and see. Jonas Smart now out to Bolo. Three. Oh, no, it's in and out. Oh, somehow Oslin comes up with the rebound. It's in for two. And for the Dragons, you cannot allow the Mora Mustangs to keep getting these offensive rebounds. Waxburg trying to draw the foul from Honstrom. It's no good, and now Jusak going to get called for the foul. Oslin's got to be careful. Oslin went to Jusak to clap. And I understand it's a rivalry game. Things get heated, but got to keep your cool here because you start doing that, the refs are going to notice it, and then one of these times you're going to get called for a technical, and that's not going to be good for your team. So I do understand that it's a heated game, but you want to keep your head about you, and it's sportsmanship. You don't want to. And I mean, it goes both ways because Jusak was yelling at the defender, so it goes both ways here. Neither team is innocent. You got both teams who are guilty. Honstrom inside. Shot is up and good. Again, just really no chance to do anything on Honstrom because he's so tall and his arms are so long. You can't really do anything without fouling him. And do we have a bandage on the court? A bandage looks like came off on the court, so they give a pause in the action. Uh-oh, and that's not what you want. A steal off the inbound. Stealing it away was Sampson for Mora, and they'll call it Mora ball. I think Lamont Sidney tipped it. 54-42, under 10 minutes to go, 9:25 left. Inside to Gage Brady, and now we're... Oh, and now a technical on the Kyle Allen, head coach of Pine City. And that last foul was on Thiemann, and I don't know. I didn't see it, so I can't say much, but I seen Lamont Sidney go flying, and usually when a defender goes flying that far and flies across the court that far, usually there's a little bit of a push from an offensive player, so I don't know. I think there should have been probably fouls on both teams on that play because Lamont Sidney absolutely went flying across the court, and usually guys don't do that themselves. Usually they're not falling on their back and sliding across the court for fun. Usually there's a little bit of a shove involved. So I'd have to say maybe something missed down there, but I didn't see it fully, so I cannot say too much. But again, the foul on Jason Thiemann and Kyle Allen was expressively upset with that one, and because of it, they gave him a technical foul. Now, that does give them 5 fouls, but because of that, now in my opinion, if you're going to call it on Mora, or on Pine City, you're going to have to start calling it on Mora. So if Mora starts going at Pine City and clapping, you're going to have to call on them. But if Pine City goes back and starts yelling or clapping at Mora, now you've set the tone as a referee that, hey, you can't be doing that, so now you have to start to call it. It's just, for me, it's consistency of calling things. If you're going to call it one way, you have to call it the other. And again, both teams have not been innocent tonight. Both teams are well guilty. Like I said, who knows what's going on underneath, and it could have been something that I didn't see. That Thiemann, maybe he threw an elbow. I didn't see it, so maybe that's what it was, why they called the foul. Meanwhile, it's Max Sampson at the line. He makes the first and the second. So he'll make both, make it a 56-42 game, and the Mustangs will take over with possession because of the technical foul. So again, now that tone is set, these technical fouls will probably see a couple more of them if this gets any more heated. Players are going to have to start to be careful. Inbounded to Sampson. Sampson going in for Hanstrom, and Lamont said he just mistimed the jump. He had the steal, but he mistimed it. And what? They're going to call. I'm confused on that one. They call Hanstrom for an elbow to the head. I don't. That's his third. I don't understand. Hanstrom was trying to come down with the ball. Huh. Confused on that one, but either way, it is a foul, and Pine City will take over. Now they have a chance to try and get things going for themselves. Lamont Sidney, far side for three. That's off the mark, and my goodness, what is in the food that these Mustangs eat? They have got some springs in their shoes or something. I mean, they are floating just in air, waiting for that ball to come down, it seems like. Dragons are just kind of mistiming their jumps, just a tad, but man, the Mustangs have some springs in their shoes tonight. Fix with it, now giving off to Sampson. Sampson working around the defender, Blaisdell. He pauses, and this is about the point of the game where Mora's going to start to really drain some time off the clock, and as a defense, you got to step up the pressure. I understand you don't want to foul, and of course you try not to, but got to step up the pressure because this is the time of the game. Again, Mustangs don't like to score a ton of points unless you give it to them like that, and Ballmer has a wide open shot. Unless they have a wide open, and I mean wide open shot, they're not going to take it. They're going to waste as much time as they can on offense to take away all that time on the clock for you to work. And now Luke Wilson, some nasty ball handling on the other side, puts it up and in for two, making it 44-58. Max Sampson now to Gage Brady. Brady now to Smart. Giving it off now to Sampson. Sampson wanting to drive, gives it off to Brady, near side for three. Oh, and that is in. Gage Brady is just feeling it right now. 61-44, and the Dragons got some work to do. 7.5 to go. They're going to have to start moving on offense, and now we get a foul on Pine City. Not sure who that was on. They didn't. Interesting. They didn't put a foul on the board, but maybe he stepped on the boundary. I'm not sure. I am not sure, ladies and gentlemen, on that one. Either way, the Mustangs do have the ball back. Sampson drives inside. Oh, and that's a tough one. That looked clean from my angle, but again, the refs are down there. They're in the action, so they can really see what's going on. That is going against Blaisdell, his first. Team's sixth, and at the line is Max Sampson. And again, sometimes you just need to be on the court in the action to really see what's going on, because when you don't have a good angle and you're not down there seeing it all in front of you, well, you don't really have much room to say, as I don't. Again, I'm not down there in the court. I am not a referee. Sampson made the first, and he'll make both. 63-44, and Dragons got a lot of work to do here. Down 19 with 7 minutes to go. The Dragons had a lead there in the first half. Watched it go away, and it went to a 2-point lead for the Mustangs. Pine City got it back in the second half really quickly, as a steal there by Hanstrom. And then they got a steal, turned it into two. had the lead. It went back and forth for the first couple minutes, but fans asking for an over and back from Mora, but we now get a foul on Pine City, and that'll be on Jason Thiemann. That's his second. 63-44, and again, Max Sampson at the line to shoot 2. And this is what they do. They really kind of lull you to sleep out there. And then they draw the fouls, and it's a 1-and-1 for Sampson. He makes the first, making it a 20-point game. Exactly 7 minutes to go in this game, and Sampson makes them both. What a second half here for Sampson. He has gone off in this second half for 12 points. Wilson has it poked out by Brady, and right now, I mean, Mora's just feeling it. They feel like they can't do no wrong, and when they feel like that, there's the momentum factor that you build, and when you've got momentum, well, you really can do almost anything you want, and almost, feel like you can do no wrong. This is going to go against Mora on Smart, his first, team's 6th. Wilson will inbound to Jusak, now to Thiemann. Thiemann to Waxberg. Waxberg to Wilson. Wilson wanting to drive inside, and for Pine City, you just got to get something going. That is well no good. Smart grabs it, and quickly up the court goes Max Sampson. I've been able to call a couple of Mora basketball games. Something I'm seeing in this game is they are not taking a long offensive possession. If they have the open shot, poked away by Wilson, and pardon the interruption, but Waxberg, he gets the steal, and then Gage Brady gets it back. Back-to-back steals, now Gage Brady. 4-3. My goodness. Between Brady and Sampson, it has been absolute sparks. But like I mentioned earlier, before I got interrupted by the steal, the Mustangs are not waiting for anything. Honstrom on the rebound. They are going out and they are scoring. They are taking it to Pine City right now. They realize, they probably looked at this game and went, you know what? We've got one of the highest powered offenses in the section coming into tonight. And if we allow them to go out and then Waxberg gets basically not tackled on purpose, but as Sampson was falling, he took Waxberg down. Probably could have been a foul. They let it go, though. And the ball goes out of bounds, last touch by Pine City. But, yeah, when you have one of the highest scoring offense coming in to this game in the section, you want to go out and score points. You don't want to sit back. You want to run your offense, but you want to go out and score. Definitely build a lead on this team, because when Mora builds a lead on someone, they don't look back. No matter what the lead is, whether it's a 5-point lead or a 20-point lead, they do not look back. And now it looks like Mora will start to drain the clock a little bit more. And instead of trying to go for baskets, it looks like they'll try and drain the clock. And they will. This pass for Oslin. Well behind, and Brady going to get called for the over and back. Blaisdell for Thiemann. 68-44, 5:10 to go in this game. Mustangs with the lead and well on their way to their 19th win of the season. And look to improve their section ranking. Pine City, meanwhile, after that loss to Malacca last Friday, saw themselves fall down the rankings from, I think it was 7th to 10th. And now we get a jump ball call as that ball is rolling around, twisted up between players. And 68-44, under 5 minutes to go, it's going to be tough. But if Pine City wants to get back in this one, it starts now. You got to start with, first of all, you got to score. And then second, you got to make sure that you hold the Mustangs without a couple possessions of scoring. And I think another big thing is you do not want to foul in this situation if you're Pine City. Because if you start to foul, you're already in the bonus for Mora. You have 17 fouls. You're going to start sending them to the line more, and they are very, very good from the free throw line, which last year when we were here for a section playoff game, Mora played, I believe it was Sox Center, and Mora lost that game. They were definitely heavily favored, but they lost that game. A big reason why? The free throw shooting. They were not great from the free throw shooting in that game. And that is kind of what led to them losing last year against Sauk Center. And again, they were the favorites in that game. They were heavily favored, but they got sent to the free throw line and could not capitalize, and that was a big reason why they lost in the playoffs. Otherwise, I think they were the favorite to go to state out of this section. So they've definitely improved on the free throws. But again, I've got a couple of chances to watch this team play a couple of times in Waxburg. Oh, Sampson not pleased with that foul, and I think I agree with him. Sampson went down, and I think Waxburg gave a little bit of an acting job. But hey, you know what? Sometimes that's all you need to do, to draw the foul and to go to the line to shoot 3. Waxburg, oh, rim is unkind on the roll. That one, no good for Waxburg, but again, these two teams, what a battle it's been. Good on the second from Waxburg. Waxburg no good on the third. So Waxburg goes 1 of 3 there. Rebounded and blocked, tipped, race for it. Sampson tried to throw it off the defender. He wound up bouncing it in bounds, and then it went further down the court than Oslin would bounce it off of the defender. Wow, what an absolute sequence that was. That was crazy. 68-45, 4:40 to go. Inbounded to Sampson. Sampson spins around, gives it off to Oslin, and again, I've been wrong before, but I would think that the Mustangs are going to start to waste a bunch of clock here. In the games I've watched, they don't really, if they lead from the halfway point and a half, their offense will slow way down and just take their time, and they'll rely on their defense. Oh my goodness. James Oslin left wide open, and that'll make it 70-45. Looks like Sampson he is bleeding on his knee, so got a bit of a cut on his knee. Bolo will check in for him. And it's 70-45, 4:13 to go. Up the court with it for the Dragons is Waxburg. He wanted to get going. He's had a tough outing here this evening. He's usually their three-point specialist, trying to drive inside. No good on the shot. Dallas Fix comes down with the rebound. And the Mustangs have it back. Oslin wants to drive inside. He stops. Double team. Now gets it off to Bolo. Bolo wants to drive. Gets it to Hanstrom. Hanstrom, no good. Oh, wow. A rare miss from Hanstrom here this evening. And the Dragons get it back. And another rare defensive rebound from Pine City. I shouldn't say rare, but it's just Mora has been just getting absolutely all the rebounds on the offense. Garrett Hanstrom on the rebound there from the Luke Wilson 3. Brady to Oslin. Oslin driving, puts up the floater, up and in for 2. Oh, and those two fall to the ground hard. Oslin and Jusak fall hard to the court. And now we get a timeout from Pine City. 3:17 to go, 72-45. Mora on their way to win number 19. And, Mora has just been dominant here in this game. Unfortunate for Pine City, but what a game it has been for Mora. And as I mentioned before, I try to continue to finish my thought, but I've been unable to because the action in this one. And Mora, again, when they play, when they're leading in the second half, after that halfway mark, they really start to slow down their offense. They take a lot of time off the clock, and instead of driving to the basket while guarded, they instead will just pass the ball. Even when they have an open shot, I've seen it in their games. They'll have an open shot underneath the basket, and instead of taking it, they'll pass it back outside to drain more clock, and then they'll take a minute or so off the clock, and then they'll finally look to shoot the ball. So they like to take time on the clock and really hold on to possession. But one thing that Mora is doing here this evening is they wanted to take, this is a rivalry game, and in a rivalry game, you want to take it to your rival, and right now Mora is. It was a close game here to begin the second half, but Mora found a little bit of a groove to get into, and man, did they absolutely run wild with it. And they have showed that they can play very quickly on offense. They've shown that They don't need to play slow. They don't need to start draining the clock halfway through with the lead. They've shown that. They've shown that they don't need to, play slow. They don't need to just rely on their defense. They've showed here tonight that their offense is deadly. They have shown that they can be lethal, they can move quickly, and they can do it from inside, they can go from outside, and their free throw shooting has well improved this season, and we've seen it here tonight. They've only missed one. They've only missed one free throw this evening, have the Mustangs. 72-45. Luke Wilson will take it up the court. Under 3.5 to go. Wilson, if you're the Dragons, you just want to make the score a little bit more respectable. I'm not saying it's over, but it would be very tough to come back. Waxberg had that one go through his hands. Gets it off to Wilson. Now to Blaze on the far side. Jusak. Jusak spins around. Tries to get it inside. Hanstrom with a hand there and gets the steal. I mean, the thing with Hanstrom is he is so lengthy. He has just got a lot of length, and he is so strong. And I mean, it might be deceptive when you're out on the court or watching it. You might think, he might not be that strong. He's tall, he might be. And, they're going to get Brady, I believe, for a double dribble. Brady picked it up, dribbled it again, and I think he knew it as soon as he did it, but tried to get away with it. He almost did. We'll get a substitution here, get some of the younger guys in for Pine City. It'll be Nick Plajic, along with Cummings, Osmus, Charles, and Haas. Wilson also checks out. Looks like some of the younger players coming in for Mora will be Seth Hatch, along with Maddox Balmer. Riley Cummings on the offensive side, gives it off to Osmus. Osmus back to Charles. Charles now driving in, gives it to Cummings. Cummings gives it to Charles. Charles wants to drive inside, tries to throw up the shot. It's no good. Do we get a foul? Yes. 72-45, Mustangs on their way to the victory with 2:16 to go. We do get a foul, though, on Mora. It is on Dominic Bolo, his first, team's 8th. Mason Charles at the line to shoot 2. First one, no good on the shot. And that rim has just been a little bit unkind on its roll for the Dragons here this evening. No good for Charles on the shot. And good on the second. Bolo driving through the defense, gives it back to Smart. Now out to Sims. Sims out to Hatch. Back to Smart. Smart over to Hatch. Inside to that is Balmer, and Balmer puts it up and in for 2. 74-46. Haas for 3, and that is off the mark. Rebounded there by Bolo. And just going to get a substitution timeout. It'll be Michael Mann along with Jack Lind. As well as, looks like Mark Perry checking into the game. Up the court, it's Sims. Now gives it off to Mark Perry. Perry tries to go behind the back, nearly stolen away and fighting for it. And we get a dog pile on the court and get a jump ball. It will stick with the Mustangs, looking like it was Jack Lind who came up with it, a junior. The seniors here for Mora, Garrett Hanstrom, Seth Hatch, Jansen Sims, and Dominic Bolo. Only 4 seniors on this squad, so we'll get a lot of their players back. Getting set to inbound is Sims. Sims now to Hatch. Hatch bounce pass to Perry. Perry in the near side corner, trying to get it to Hatch, knocked out of bounds by Osmus. 1:20 to go, 74-46 the lead here for Mora. Sims will inbound to Perry. Perry spins around, trying to get around Merrick over to him. Now bounce pass to Hatch. Hatch inside, has it poked away, stolen away here by Mason Charles. Charles sees that one go through his hands, out of bounds, but last touch by the Mustangs. 74-46, 109 to go. Nick Plajek will look to inbound. He'll get it to Ashton Seals, Now out to Mason Charles for three. No good. And out of bounds. Last touch by the Mustangs. It's off of Michael Mann. I don't think he even saw it coming towards him. And it bounced off his shoulder out of bounds. Plajek inbounds to Mason Charles. Osmus over to Seals. Seals trying to get around the defender. Now gives it back to Charles. Charles drives in, gives it out to Osmus. Osmus drives in, tries to get it to Plajek. Plajek winds up coming down with it. Now gives it to Charles, Mason Charles. Gives it off to Seals. Seals trying to go inside, finds a little bit of a lane and wanted Osmus. Instead gives it to Charles. It was poked out, but Mustangs get it. Taking up the other way is Perry, no good. Rebounded though by Sims, 19-18, 15 seconds left. The entire bench wanted to give it off to someone for the last shot. They might not. Looks like they'll just be content. Perry, no good. But that is going to be it. So the Mustangs come away with the victory here at home over the rival Pine City Dragons, 74-46. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll recap this game, let you know what's coming up for both these teams, and also for WCMP. You've been listening to the Basketball Game of the Week here on Nice 95.5 and WCMP.
If you've been injured in an auto accident or have sustained other personal injury, you don't have to leave town to get good representation. Spear & Swanson attorneys at law in Pine City are experienced and will work on your case with no fee until they get you money. They also handle divorce and custody cases, criminal defense, including DWI and other legal matters. Spear & Swanson is your local law firm that cares about you. So if you need legal representation or advice, call 320-629-7586. Spear & Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Visit Town & Country Insurance today at townandcountry-ins.com or stop in our offices in Finlayson, Hinckley, and Mora.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available. Online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
With high school sports season here again, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
When something is important to you, you'll do anything to make sure it's protected. You want someone you know, someone you trust to help you take care of it. That's why you need to work with Pine Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. With over 50 years combined experience, let the experts at Pine Insurance Agency help you protect what's important. Whether it's your home, car, farm, insurance, or loved ones, call them today to set up a free, no-obligation quote. Your local Auto Owners Insurance Agency is Pine Insurance Agency, located in a Northridge Center in Pine City.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings, with expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas. When you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
back here on 95.5 FM, 106.5, and AM 1350, both on KBEK.com and WCMPradio.com. The Mora Mustangs get the victory here tonight over the rival Pine City Dragons, 74-46. This rivalry win here for Mora, I mean, it was intense there in that second half. We even got a technical foul on the head coach for Pine City, Kyle Allen. So it got a little bit out of hand for both these sides. I mean, you know, Mora wasn't innocent either. They had a couple of times where it looked like, ooh, you got to be careful, otherwise they might call it on you. But after that technical foul was called, both sides kind of realized, hey, we got to settle down a little bit. Otherwise, if we do anything more, we're really going to start to see the fouls come in and technical fouls. So both teams really calmed down after that. They realized, hey, the refs are noticing, the refs are keying in on it. So they kind of backed off a little bit on the intensity. But, man, the intensity was still there for both of these teams. Looking at the scoring leaders in this game, Gage Brady, the freshman for Mora, he led the Mustangs with 19 points in this game. And what a first half for him, too. 13 for Dallas Fix, and Max Sampson, he had 12 points all in the second half. Max Sampson was absolutely electric in the second half. He came alive. He was more of the guy helping out his teammates there in the first half, really just kind of wanted them, you know, to be the guy who helped him out, just kind of made the moves, and he had some nasty moves out there in the first half and just provided the assists in the first half. But, man, did he come alive here in the second half with 12 points. 10 points for Garrett Honstrom. He had 6 of those in the second half. And then looking elsewhere, it's Jonas Smart with 8 and 6 for both James Oslin and Maddox Balmer. Leading the way, again, tried to keep up with it as best I could, but rebound-wise, Honstrom had 10 points and 7 rebounds. Oh, a good night for him. And 6 rebounds for Dallas Fix and 5 for James Oslin. They had 8 second-half fouls, so a couple more here in the second half, but not anything too terrible in the second half. Of course, they did send Pine City to the line a couple times, but Pine City not able to capitalize like they would have liked to. On the other side for Pine City was Cameron Jusak. He led the team with 14 points. 10 of those came in the first half. The way his first half started, it looked like, my goodness, Pine City was in for a night. It looked like he was just going to be the hot hand, and he was not going to miss all night. But all of a sudden, he started to cool off more, started to key in on it, and they really eliminated the perimeter shots for Pine City. In fact, Pine City only hit 1 3-point shot two in the second half. So not like they would have wanted to in this second half. But, of course, Jusak leading the way with 14 points, 11 for Luke Wilson. And then it was 7 for Jason Thiemann, 4 for Cole Waxberg and Lamont Sidney, 3 for Charles Osmus, and 1 for Mason Charles. And they had 5 second-half fouls. They did have 3 steals here in the second half, so something to look at as a positive. But Mora, I mean, this was an absolute fun one here until Mora really just found a groove. And it was a close one throughout this entire first half. It was close. Pine City actually took over the Mora lead. They had the lead for a while. Then Mora stormed back, took over the lead, had the 2-point lead, and that's what they would take into halftime, a 28-26 lead. And holy moly, did the Mustangs offense come alive here in the second half, scoring 46 second-half points while holding Pine City to 20. What a offensive performance here from Mora. And I think if you're any other team watching this, whether you're, St. Cloud Cathedral, Albany, any other team from the Granite Ridge Conference, or you're a team in the section watching Mora play, trying to get a feel for them and how they will be in the playoffs, I think you've just seen how dangerous this team will and can be. They showed a ton on offense here tonight. Not a team who's known for a lot of scoring this year. They have not scored a lot of points this year. In fact, they score under 50 points a game this year, and they hold their opponents to under 50, and that's what they wanted to do. That's what they want to do. But I think one of the biggest keys here tonight is this was a rivalry game. They wanted to show just how much they could do on offense. I think they were seeing, a lot of teams looked at them, hey, well, we can work against them. All we have to do is score 60 points and we win. That's how, when Mora has lost, they've allowed more than 60 points in a game. But they showed here tonight that not only can their defense be good, but they don't have to rely on their defense to win them a game. They can go out and put up the points, and they did here tonight. Of course, playing in a rivalry game helps you just that much more because you want to beat your rivals, and Mora did here tonight, and I think they were really the big key here in the second half for from my perspective was they were able to get a ton of rebounds on the offensive side of the glass. When they would go to shoot and they would miss, almost every time Mora got the rebound. Obviously not every time, but it felt like, I'm pretty sure, and out there for the Dragons, it felt like Mora, just any time the Mustangs missed a shot, it felt like they were getting the rebound. Pine City just really had no answer on defense to try and get a rebound for themselves. And even when they would tip the ball up and out and get it out to the perimeter to try and get someone else to grab the rebound, the Mustangs were just there. They were hustling all night. They were getting to the ball and just absolutely just getting their paws on it at all costs. And it helps when you got a few taller guys in Oslin and Hanstrom, a big guy. I mean, 6'8", he's so long. And then a couple of other guys in there that are pretty big, smart. And so you got a lot of taller guys who have very lanky, long arms that can just make sure that they pull it in. And the strength of these guys is another thing. Just so strong at getting the rebounds. And just the communication, their ability to get the rebounds for their offense is another thing. And those led to second chance opportunities, and those opportunities led to more points. So I think that was the big key here for this game, for the second half anyways, is that, Pine City was just unable to get those defensive rebounds that they needed. And then when they did get the ball back, after those first 4 points that they scored in the second half, it really went really dry for them. They just had no answer on offense, and the Mora Mustang defense just stepped it up another notch, and Pine City just couldn't get around it. They couldn't find an open spot to shoot. They struggled from the free throw line here tonight, and give credit to Mora's fan base that they provided a lot of noise here for Pine City tonight, and Pine City just had trouble finding open shots, and even when they did find an open shot, Mora was right there to get in the way and just be there and get a hand in the face of these Dragon shooters. So it was a tough one here for Pine City in the second half. They just kind of got out of sorts, and then the game just kind of started to get away from them from that point. And you got to give credit to Mora. That is just due to their defense playing so tight, so well, and their offense just converting nearly every single thing they had on offense. But Pine City, a tough one here tonight. They'll have to look back at this game and look at their mistakes and look at what they've got to do differently to get over the hump against a team like this, because they'll face plenty of teams like this in the playoffs. And you again, in the playoffs, it's one and done, so you got to make sure that you're winning those games. But again, the Dragons had a formula early on that was working, and even to begin the second half, and it just, Mora just really, like I mentioned at halftime, took the momentum for themselves. They didn't wait for it to come to them. They stole it. They pulled it towards their way, and give credit to Mora. But again, Pine City falls in this one, 74-46 to the Mora Mustangs. And looking at the schedules here for both of these teams, the Pine City Dragons, they will wait till next week to play. They will play and host Chisago Lakes on Tuesday. They beat Chisago Lakes earlier in the year in Chisago Lakes, 67-63. So they'll have a chance to improve their QRF rating with a win there against Chisago, and then they'll finish up their regular season the Tuesday after that, March 1st, up in Esco against the Eskimos. So two very, very important games left for the Pine City Dragons. Of course, they do fall here tonight, and they fall on the season to 17-7. For the Mora Mustangs, well, they improve to 19-3, and they will have 4 games left on the schedule. They will play in Malacca against the Wolves tomorrow. That is a huge matchup. That is going to be a very good game. The Mustangs got the victory over Malacca earlier in the season, 58-50, but with the way Malacca is on an absolute hot streak right now, well, you may want to get out to that one. That's going to be a fun one. Then on next Friday, the Mora Mustangs will host Hinckley-Finlayson, and then the following Tuesday, March 1st, they'll play against St. Cloud Cathedral, and they'll finish up their regular season with a Friday, March 4th game in Albany against their section and conference opponent. So a lot to play for yet here for Mora, as they would love to capture the conference crown and also improve their section rating, and they could do so. And looking at the section race right now, Mora in that number 4 spot. So if they could win out, that would be huge, because Albany in that second spot just below Annandale. And I don't know if anybody will take over Annandale right now, but they could. You never know. Coming up for us tomorrow, some girls basketball right here on 95.5 FM. Bram girls versus Crosby Ironton. Then we'll have boys basketball on 106.5 FM Hinckley, Finlayson boys versus Proctor, and we'll also have girls basketball on our YouTube on WCMPradio.com only of the Rush City Girls versus Aiken. And then on Saturday we will have a hockey playoff game. I believe it will be Pine City, and they will play against more than likely Sauk Rapids Rice, whether they're at home or in Sauk Rapids Rice, but we'll bring that one to you as well. So again, I want to thank all of you for tuning in here, whether you listened on 95.5 FM or 106.5 FM, or we're streaming these games live on kbek.com or wcmpradio.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Want to give a huge shout out to all of our fine sponsors. Thank you so much to all of them for sponsoring tonight's broadcast, and not just tonight's broadcast, but the entire winter sports season. Thank you so much to them. Again, the final score here, the Mora Mustangs 74, Pine City 46. Stay tuned to the KBEK and WCMP morning shows for your local sports update on KBEK at 7:30 and 8:30, on WCMP at 7:45 and 8:45. For KBEK and WCMP, I am Ethan Game Day Gilman. Thank you so much for joining in, and have a great rest of your night. City 46. Stay tuned to the KBEK and WCMP morning shows for your local sports update on KBEK at 7:30 and 8:30, on WCMP at 7:45 and 8:45. For KBEK and WCMP, I am Ethan Game Day Gilman. Thank you so much for joining in, and have a great rest of your night. City and 8:30, on WCMP at 7:45 and 8:45. For KBEK and WCMP, I am Ethan Game Day Gilman. Thank you so much for joining in, and have a great rest of your night.